Welcome back to another episode of the Whatever Buddy podcast. Thanks for joining us. Not surprising, Johnny's still not home. He's still in Vancouver recording an album with his band. As usual, this podcast is destined to be on Zoom. With that being said, Ryan's going to talk about his trash television that he really does enjoy watching. Johnny's going to give us another studio tour. So sit back, grab yourself a brewski or a White Claw, or if you prefer, a hot chocolate, and enjoy the show. So with no further ado, Ryan and Johnny.
Welcome back, buddy. Hey.
Hey, buddy. Hey. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Whatever Buddy podcast. I am once again 72. In a different location in the same city of Vancouver, British
You're still in
Columbia.
Vancouver, huh? British Columbs.
British Columbs. Weed here is amazing, must say. My hair, I'm going with full-fledged Tommy Aldridge.
You're full
today.
Tommy Aldridge. You're full Tommy Aldridge today.
Full-fledged Tommy Aldridge. And I'm sitting in this spot specifically so Ryan Harris could admire the Kiss Psycho Circus.
Self-admitted giant Kiss fan.
Yeah. But one of the worst Kiss records, got to be honest.
Shut up. It was not one of the worst.
You like that one? You like it?
Yeah, I like that one. That was the Reunion Tour album, man.
It only sold 500,000 copies for Kiss.
I know the guy that played drums on that. Spoiler alert, Peter Criss didn't play all the drums.
Interesting. Why?
I don't know. Maybe technical ability. Not shit-talking the cat man, but...
You know, it's interesting. The night before, do you remember when they did the Unplugged, and the first time they had Paul and Peter rejoin them?
Yeah.
That was on Halloween. I forget what year it was. I want to say 95. Halloween 95, because the reunion came in 96.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
So that Halloween, I remember watching that Unplugged, and oh my God, Gene, and this is back when I still loved Kiss. Oh my God, Gene and Paul, they're back with Paul and Peter and Ace. I'm all over the place.
You are all over the place. It's okay, though. I feel like I am, too.
Follow me. So the very next day after that aired, I went to Crocodile Rock in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and saw the Peter Criss Band on tour with the Ace Frehley Band the night after that thing aired.
Interesting.
Yeah, right? But let me tell you, back to what you're saying about Peter Criss, I remember thinking to myself, man, this guy's gone to shit. He sucks.
At that show?
Show? It's like, it's horrible.
Yeah.
He was an old guy who could barely hit anymore, is what it seemed like. Now, granted, Kiss the Second Coming is a great documentary if you guys haven't seen it, and it's about the first 20 minutes gives you up to, the history of Kiss up to where they were. And then the next hour and 40 minutes is all about
the reunion.
The reunion, them rehearsing for the reunion, them getting ready for the tour for the reunion, them doing all that stuff for the reunion tour. And I find that stuff so interesting. And then Peter was having trouble. He's like, I'll go home for the weekend and I'll work on the weekend on these songs.
So was Ace. Tommy Thayer had to reteach Ace all his own parts.
Really? I didn't know.
Yeah. It wasn't in that documentary, obviously, but it was in something that I saw like in the past recent years.
Yeah, that's why.
Like those guys didn't play. Like so, Gene and Paul kept playing throughout the 80s, 90s.
Well, they were playing. They just weren't playing Kiss songs.
Yeah. Anyways,
Ace had Rock Soldiers. Rock Soldiers come. I love that song. I remember in that documentary, Gene saying that Gene and Paul had to go back and relearn certain things because they started playing through the years. They just started playing the songs differently, and they had to go back and get them back to the original form.
I can see how that would happen, though. It'd be so easy to do. You get stuck in
fuck. We come back to Warner Drive Land after not doing that for a while, and as a drummer,
you have to relearn them. Yeah,
I have to relearn it and retrain my body because my body's not used to playing that style of music.
It's so funny how often, like, especially on like things that I've recorded, or you all right there, squirrel?
I'm looking for my coffee.
Anyways, as I was saying, it's so funny how often, like, I'll hear things that I played and I don't remember how I did it. And it's like, and I'll relearn it and it'll sound right, but it'll just be like, I don't remember. Is that how I did it? It's so weird, dude. I'm a professional.
Well, yeah. There's also the, editing sometimes. Like, there's been records that I've been on that like I'm just like, did I even play that? Is that a ghost drum or did somebody like move something?
Yeah, well, drums too. Yeah, that happened because like drums, they'll put samples on top to make them all consistent and everything. So your track could definitely sound like. You all right there, man? You're a squirrel today.
Dude, I got band. Felipe, you better come here. You guys better come here and say hi now. I'm getting called out for fucking being distracted.
Yeah, you're getting called out for being distracted. You're supposed to be a professional. You're supposed to be a professional podcaster, and you're talking to your friends in the side room. I'm gonna come in hard. Yeah.
Hey, Justin.
What's up, dudes? What's up? So we got the whole entire band on the podcast. You guys got to stop distracting Johnny squirrels over there.
You say you got to stop distracting Johnny squirrels. I love this guy, man. These guys are great.
Couple of bromances going on there, man. I like it.
Dude,
I'm a fan.
We've been having the best time ever. And
That's
I
rad.
will send you
Awesome.
a video of the new studio. We're at a place called the Armory.
So what's the difference of where you are now versus where you were last podcast?
Well, I was in the apartment the last podcast.
Okay.
But the video was from the warehouse. The warehouse, the only reason we didn't stay at the warehouse is because they didn't have all 3 weeks for us. And the only reason we didn't come to the Armory the whole time is because they didn't have all 3 weeks for us at the time. So
so I don't understand the warehouse versus the Armory. Please explain that to me and the people, because they're not going to get it either. Johnny Squirrels.
Both studios are top-notch studios. I mean, like the last one I was at was owned by Bryan Adams. Muse, that album they did in 2014 that won all the Grammys, they recorded it at the warehouse. AC/DC's recorded, I think they recorded Razor's Edge at the warehouse. Or it was something happened at the warehouse because I sent you that picture of the sheet. I got some cool pictures. I think I sent them to you last night of all the boards. The recording boards.
Yeah, all the like what do you call those? Like progress boards.
Yeah,
it's
progress
like
boards or something, I guess.
It's to explain it to listeners. It's a board, and you list the songs, and it's a chart, and then you have like bass, drums, vocals, backgrounds, leads, whatever. And as you get them done, you check them off. But instead of checking them off, I'll put the pictures up. Instead of checking them off, they put little stickers.
So every time you finish a track or whatever, you put it up there.
So you're done with the warehouse where you're physically recording parts, and now you're at the Armory where they're doing what?
We're physically recording parts.
So
we're recording tracks all the way. Yeah, we're recording all the way up until the day we leave. The mix starts after we leave on March 1st. So,
gotcha.
So this studio though is owned by Bruce Fairburn. Bruce Fairburn, he opened this studio. Well, he bought this studio in 1995. It was built by some famous Canadian musician. He bought it in 95. Bruce Fairburn, so people know, he produced Slippery When Wet. He produced Bon Jovi. New Jersey. He produced Poison, Flesh and Blood. He produced Aerosmith, Permanent Vacation. He produced Aerosmith, Pump, Get a Grip, Kiss, Psycho Circus, The Cranberries. He did all sorts of stuff with The Cranberries. I mean, the list is truly endless. And Mike, our producer, who actually mixed Permanent Vacation, he mixed Pump, he mixed Razor's Edge, he's mixed Sonic Temple by The Cult. He was Bruce's guy. He was like Bruce's engineer. So that's how he got in. And before he was Bruce's engineer, him and Bob Rock both worked for Bruce at the same time. And Bob Rock, I guess, got his first gig first is what it seems. He didn't tell me this, but he was Bob Rock's assistant.
All the name dropping. So
yeah,
my question,
I'm doing all the name dropping because I mean, like, if I want to drop some more, I mean, Mike's also
because you can.
Mike also mixed Metallica Load and Reload. He remixed a couple of songs for Zeppelin. He told us the other day they asked him to remix Dark Side of the Moon, and he said no.
Why do you say no?
Because he thought it was perfect. He's like, I don't want to be the guy that fucking Dark Side of the Moon. Ruins Dark Side of the Moon. You know? Somebody else had the balls though. Somebody else had the balls and actually did it.
Yeah, that's a whole weird thing, like the remix there. Like, I completely understand why bands want to do it, but it's like, it seems like, is it just a gimmick to sell more of that album, like to kind of like
I asked him
promote that album again?
I asked him the other day about the remastering thing because I was like, what? Because he remastered the whole AC/DC catalog. And he's like, no, remastering does make a difference. He's like, technology, when things change from, albums to CDs, especially the remaster, because vinyl's so much different because it's not digital, it's analog,
Right.
So, yeah,
I still do think
wild.
it's probably a gear nerd might be a strong term, but it's definitely like not everybody hears the difference. I don't think. I think you have to have like a musical ear, and I'm not saying I have that. Like, I don't think I would really hear that big of a difference with a lot of that stuff.
Well, my response to him was, I want to hear the original thing the way it was recorded. That's how I want to hear it. But real quick to sum up this whole thing, both studios are fucking amazing. And to say you like one more than the other would be apples and oranges, because they're just set up differently. Like the other studio, like they have all sorts of different studios. We were in the big room in Studio 2, but they have Studio 1, 2, 3, and 4 over there, which, let me make a little note here. Muse, when they recorded their album there, took up every studio. And in like Studio 1, they'd have the guitar amps. And in Studio 3, they'd have the bass amps. They had the drums set up on special risers so they could get special sounds, echoes and shit coming from the microphones and shit. So they raised the drums.
That's pretty cool.
Put the drummer, each drum was on a different riser, they were telling me.
Each drum?
Each drum was on a different riser to get certain sounds and shit like that.
Yeah.
Probably have the bass drum and rack tom on one. Hey, Mike, were you there? You want to say hi?
Hi.
Come on. This is my Ryan.
Just
this
meeting
is
all the people. What's up, man? How you
man.
doing? How are you? Nice to meet you. Can you hear me? Can he hear me?
He can now. He put the
Oh,
lights
you're
over
sharing
right side.
you're sharing AirPods with Johnny Galoshes over there, huh?
Oh, God. That's not
How's
all we
it?
share.
How is it working with my boy, man? Is he annoying you
man,
yet?
We're having a blast. We're having a blast.
Sounds like you guys are. Sounds really cool, man.
Dude.
Yeah.
I sat here because he's a huge Kiss fan. It's like this.
There you go.
I'm the biggest Kiss fan you'll probably meet.
Were you there when they recorded the Muse album at the warehouse?
No.
We were just talking about, they told me about how they set the drums up on all different like risers to get different sounds. Is that true?
Me?
Yeah.
I wasn't there. Yeah.
I'm gonna get to the bottom of this by asking the
I
guy
want
that
to get to
wasn't
the
there.
bottom of it. Yeah, totally.
Could be. Anyways, I'm going to have a quick smoke. Nice to meet you, bro.
Hey, nice to meet you too. Take care of my boys.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Well, we just have all the special guests popping in. I like it.
All the guests today.
I like it.
All the guests today. Yeah, it's wonderful. Mike's a good dude. We've been having fun.
Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It sounds like you guys are having a good time and enjoying the experience. And I know for a fact that's going to come across in the music that you're recording.
Dude, this is unlike, I've been doing this for a long time. So have you. And so has everybody in my band. This is an experience I've never experienced before. I've never,
that caliber of a studio, you mean?
I've recorded in, high calibers. I've recorded at Sunset Sound. I recorded at A&M, the old A&M, now Henson. I've done some really cool studios. The Warehouse Studio in Philadelphia, I recorded it when I was a senior in high school. But a 3-week session where it's like I'm in another city. I've done, I've recorded albums before and they take a while, but 3 weeks straight in another city, wake up in the morning, go to the studio, stay there till fucking get there by noon, stay there till midnight, come home, have a drink, wake up, do it again.
Yeah, you're immersed in it with you actually like living there. That's
like knee fucking deep. It's like I'm in tour mode, but it's not tour mode. It's something
Some
else.
may even say balls deep, Johnny.
Balls deep.
Balls deep. You're balls deep in the studio.
Deep. Yeah. So it's been an experience that I've never had, and to work with a guy like Mike's pretty wild. Hey, Mike.
Still talking about you. Still talking about you.
We have been having so much fun, and there's always ups and downs, like in anything, you don't always have your best days. When I was doing drum tracks, we're way past drum tracks now, but when I was doing them, I had my moments where I was like, oh my God. Like the day we did the podcast last time, I went in and I did drum tracks that afternoon where I was ripping my hair out, but we got them done,
Well, recording is equal parts fun and just challenge. I mean, if it was easy, if it was easy, everyone would do it. It's like taking a test. When you get done, you're using so much brain power that your brain's tired. because you're thinking and you're trying and you're creating, and it's like it's not easy.
And I mean, like, and that's, I guess, what separates the amateurs from the professionals.
The men from the boys, if you will.
I guess so. I mean, because it's
the Ryans from the Johnnies.
I'll tell you, there's been a few days after drum tracks that I went back to our apartment where I was like, I fucking suck.
Well, dude, I mean, yeah, no, you can't go there though, dude. You can't beat yourself up.
You say that now, but let's put you in this scenario.
Yeah. I have been. I was there last week. I was there last week. I was in the studio. By the way, can't wait to play some of this shit that I'm working on. Not to spin it around on me. But dude, we were working on a song and it just wasn't clicking for me. And it made me feel like I sucked at life. And
so then why are you saying you can't go there?
What's that?
You know what it's like? It's not that we feel like we suck, but in that moment you're like, man, I fucking suck.
Yeah. No, I mean, I hear it. Well, okay, so maybe I'm just trying to put myself up. Like, you can't go there because it doesn't help. You beat yourself up, you're not gonna get the part down for sure. But anyways, on my day of that, I just happened to be surrounded by very good, adjusted people good humans with a good attitude, and they didn't make the situation worse. They helped make it better, and
that's what happened here.
And it led to a good result. So yeah, man.
You know, I get fascinated. I like last night the guys were like, "Why are you petting the board?" I was just literally petting the mixing board.
Yeah, that's weird. Why were you?
Because I was just looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, just think about everything that's gone through this board.
And you decided to pet it?
I didn't know how else to get close to it. So
you hump the XLR jack. That's what you do. You
I was sitting there and I was just petting it, and Justin's doing vocal tracks. He's like, I look up and I just start cracking up because he's having one of those moments where I suck. But then I look up and I see you petting the mixing board, and I just start cracking up.
So it helped. It helped the situation. Look how dark this room just got, dude.
Look how it's raining in Los Angeles.
It's in the afternoon, and it's like Jurassic Park here, dude. My buddy sent a text this morning. I woke up. His car in North Hollywood had snow on it this morning. It's crazy. It's snowing here, dude.
Were you in the
I went to Burbank the other day, and it was like the clouds. You know the mountains in Burbank. Yeah. For anyone that's never been there, like it's a really pretty looking city. It has mountains you can see, and there was like Jurassic Park clouds at mid mountain, and it was all like gray and rainy.
2 Burbank stories that are relevant. Yeah. First one, those mountains make Burbank Airport one of the hardest airports for pilots to take off from, because they have to get a steep incline right out of the gate because those mountains are so close to the runway. Okay.
So one of my best friends is a pilot, and he flies into Burbank often, and I'm going to fact check you with that.
Please do. I was told that. The second one was the day after the Warner Drive KGO release show, which was February of 2011. The very next day I was in Burbank.
Getting old.
It was snowing. The very next day it was snowing in Burbank. The only time I ever seen snow in fucking LA.
Maybe it's not that rare, but I've never seen it, so.
You know what's interesting?
I saw Sonny the other day.
Did you? How'd that go?
Yeah. It was good. Sundog. Shout out Sundog.
Well, that's not the same time you saw him at the show that we talked about.
No, it was another time. I went to the room that you record the podcast out of, and really? I bring this up for a reason, because I didn't know this, but I've talked in the past about how I like The Bachelor, like The Bachelorette.
So does Sonny. Are you going to throw Sonny under the bus right now?
I like The Bachelor in Paradise. I like The Bachelor in
Did you guys just sit around and talk about naked?
I watched Too Hot to Handle, Johnny. I watch F-Boy Island. And Sonny and I are having this conversation because he likes the trash entertainment. And
but here's the thing, though.
He gave me a new show.
He lives with a girl. He lives with a girl who probably shows him this stuff, and you don't. You just watch this stuff.
Yeah, and him and I both came to the exact same conclusion of why we watch that. Because when my day's done, I want to sit on the couch and I want to watch mindless entertainment that I don't have to read subtitles or think about. Well, actually, the show that I'm watching, I read the subtitles, but I digress. And I want my brain to shut off, and I want to watch something mindless and entertaining, and I want it to be pretty looking. I want it to be pretty. You know what I mean? So he gave me a new show.
What show?
Well, it's not a new show. It's new to me, but it's called Love Island. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's so good.
Thank God my girl doesn't watch that. I get
good.
bullshit too though. I have to watch nonstop Real Housewives Atlanta in my fucking house.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So Love Island, like, it's British. I have to watch it with subtitles, which is what I was getting at. Like,
are they from like Manchester or something?
They're from all over. And dude, the lingo, you know me with the lingo of areas. Like, the ling. I'm picking up new words, man. They'll be like I think kisses are called snogs.
Really?
So like they'll be like, go up and snog a bird.
Well, bird I get because they always say
bird's girl. I knew that one. Yeah. No, but it'd be like chatting with a bird or like banter.
Man,
I love it, dude. I love it. You know me, and like we go through Germany, and it's like, hey, it's a Van Dobbin. And I like pick up on just whatever, dude.
I'm a huge fan of Van Dobbin. We've talked about Van Dobbin before. You don't like to bring it back. And Van Dobbin's not even German. It's a fucking beer that we saw on a menu in Amsterdam. You're like, Van Dobbin? I'm like, that's the best name for you. And you did that little accent. I'll never forget that, dude, because like we had bandmates who were out in the
You're glossing over my Love Island glory. I'll let you continue with your point, but I what were you saying?
Well, I was just gonna say, speaking of Love Island, we had some friends that were over in the red light district when this was all happening. I remember, and we were with Candace and.
Speaking of Love Island, we were in Amsterdam red light district.
We were with Candace and Stephanie Pick, and.
Shout out.
I remember you and I were just like, dude, the dudes are out like looking at chicks in the red light district, and we're sitting here with Candace and Stephanie. Let's get the fuck out of here. And we took off. And then we found them
no offense, guys.
hanging out at a bar where I ended up getting one of my favorite meals of all time, beef and potatoes in a stew in an Irish bar next to the Winston,
Goulash.
which is a venue and a hostel in Amsterdam.
Goulash.
Anyway, back to Love Island, please. Love Island.
Back to Love Island, dude. I had to hit pause because I started laughing so hard.
Why?
Okay, so the show's interesting. One of the things I like about the show is that each episode is like a day. So, like if you're watching The Bachelor or if you're watching things like that, like it's so heavily edited that like they kind of script their own story. I'm sure this show does that to a degree too, but like it's way less intended drama. It's just like a day. So a season is like 30 episodes. You have like loads of fun. But so I'm watching it yesterday, and this one dude's talking to this other guy, and he's like, "You scoring top minge?"
Minge? The fuck does minge mean? I love that word though. I love
like getting
it.
girls. Yeah, I mean, like over here you hear minge, and it's like tighten that shit up.
What?
But over there, I guess minge is just like a term for like, are you hooking up?
What does the word mean here or in America?
I always thought minge meant like rough around the edges, or like minge would be like you're a little dirty or something. I don't know. We're gonna have to, you know what? We're gonna have to get Andy Guttercat, friend of the podcast. We're gonna need your help on some of these terms.
Yeah, we need minge. I've never heard the word. I kind of like it though. When you say minge, it makes me think of the word mensch, and mensch is like
Jewish,
that's
like
Jewish,
like a good guy.
Speaking
right?
of, okay, all right. As everybody knows, I'm a Jew. I had a great Jewish joke, but I fucked it up when I went to go tell Justin because I was drunk, and it turned out to be an even better joke. Okay,
I'm listening. You have my full attention.
What the joke was supposed to be was a Jew walks into a bar with a hard-on, breaks his nose, right?
Meaning his nose is bigger than his hard-on.
Right.
Okay.
But I left out a huge part, and I went up to Justin and go, Justin, I got a joke. Jew walks into a bar, breaks his nose. Makes no sense. Fucking awesome. So that's one of my things when he's having a tough time in the control room, and I can see him getting really frustrated. I go, Justin. He goes, what? I go, Jew walks into a bar, breaks his nose. He just laughs and steps out.
It would have been even better if you were just like, I can't even. I'm not Jewish, so I'm not even gonna pile onto this joke. But that's funny. That's funny. in it.
Here, let me just show the star, David. Just proof that it's all legit. Look at this.
Yeah.
nose, it
So
doesn't lie.
yeah. So to intentionally change the subject off of this, we got to get Andy.
Awkward sauce.
Andy Guttercat, help us out with some of these British words. Minge. What's minge? What's chinwag?
minge?
What does chinwag mean?
Chinwag. What does that?
Yeah, that was one.
What?
They said something about chinwag, and I was like, I'd like some of the things like in context.
Chinwagging.
In context, you could figure out what it meant, but like some of these words, I'm just like, I don't even like.
Well, I mean,
Speaking
you know who
forward.
we can bring on? We can bring on
Graft.
Gulch.
They kept saying graft.
We can bring in Gulch, Guttercat, or Steven Jackson. One
All of
those
the
three.
above. All of the
Maybe
above.
get all of them at the same time.
Yeah.
No, you would hate that. You'd hate that.
I would hate
Editing
that because
wise.
it's a lot of editing, but it would be a party and a
Correct.
fun time.
It would be. It
And
would
these
be a
two
party
stupid
and a fun
Americans would learn a lot of a lot of just banter.
time. Yeah. I'll tell you what, man.
Have a chat.
Yeah.
I'm going to hone my British accent. I keep cutting you off. I think a little bit. We have a little bit.
No,
of,
but I
talking
keep
over
trying
each
to
other
change the
going on.
subject, but I want to finish the subject before I go to like one of the biggest differences of the two studios. But we'll get to that in a second.
Johnny just trying to make it about himself again. I'm going
No,
to
I don't.
use
This is just
my
funny.
intentionally sarcastic voice. You don't think this is funny?
No, I said I do think. I said I think this is funny.
I misunderstood. Yeah, okay.
You
I
fucking
misunderstood.
dick.
I misunderstood. I'm gonna start calling you mate.
Mate, hey, mate.
Hey, bruv. Hey, bruv.
Mate's a thing that I haven't heard that one, but I get mate a lot.
Yeah, I learned bruv last night. BRUV. We say bruh.
Oh, it's a yo bra. It's one of those fucking bullshit
It's like
things.
bruv, brava.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. They must be Tesla drivers. Fucking.
Dude, they were calling girls rockets.
Rockets?
Chatting with a pocket rocket. It's like, dude, that means something different here.
I don't think that would fly in America. I think people would be like, yo, you can't like talk about women that way. Like it'd be real
Well, we have
sensitive.
terms. We have terms for people. You think it's
Yeah.
politically correct to call a girl a smoke show? I hear that daily.
I've never once heard that.
Well, Johnny, I love you like a brother. You're not the person that I would go to for like.
Ling? Up to date Ling?
Yes, thank you for helping me out on a potentially rude thing to say to my friend.
What were you gonna say?
No, it's just like you're not a guy I'm going to go to
Say-
be like, what's the latest trend? You know?
Yeah, I'm not really up to date with that stuff. No. But
So
you know what I
if-
did notice? Okay, biggest difference between the two studios has nothing to do with the insides. It has to do with the outsides.
So you're in a different building. This is a completely different building.
I'm in a different part of town.
Okay. Still Vancouver.
Still Vancouver. I'm not sure.
Still
what they
Columbia
call
of
this
the
part
British
of town.
persuasion. Still Columbia of the British
Right.
persuasion. Okay. got
Yeah.
it.
There was like zombies like I've never seen. Like I don't know what drugs these people were doing.
Zombies? Oh,
Yeah,
people,
dude.
street people.
Like, can I demonstrate? I don't know if you can see me. Can you see me over here? All right, dude. No lie.
Yeah. Go to the YouTubes. Go to
This
the
is
YouTubes.
what they do. They would just walk around like this. No lie, dude. They have like, and then they would like get close to the ground, and as soon as they're about to touch it, stand back up, and then out of nowhere they'd be like, "Oop, I'm out of here," and just boom. Right? They would do it in the middle of the street. They would
More
do it all
like
sorts of
like
hard
this was
places.
this was more than one person doing that. Like
Dude, they were all over the place, dude. They were zombies, and this part of town is called Gaztown,
Yeah.
and that's where the warehouse is. And from
Gaztown?
walking to the apartment to the studio was just like the closer we got to the studio, the worse it got. And like I would sit there daily and just look outside the window and just watch. At the only day they weren't there was when they were filming Superman across the street, which I got pictures. I'll send them to you. I have video footage of Superman doing a scene across the street. from
that's
outside.
randomly rad.
Yeah. It was why I was like, what are they filming? And I was like, wait, there's fucking Superman. It's the show they have on HBO.
You saw
I
actual
saw it.
like guy
Yeah, I
dressed.
have video footage. I'll send. I'll show.
Who's
I
the
have
actor?
film it.
Who's the actor playing Superman now?
It's whatever. Justin told me it's the show that's on HBO. Superman versus something or whatever. It's a show that's on HBO right now. But he knew the actor's name. He knew the actor's name. If you said it, I'd know if that was the guy he said.
I love it. I didn't know it was a show. I have to look into it. There's too much shit to watch, dude. You can't keep up with it all. And I'm watching Love Island, 38 episodes.
It was the only day that they cleared out the zombos. Okay, and there was one spot right across. That's what we ended up calling. There's a spot right across the street for this building that just said it had a lease sign right on the corner. And that lease sign, for whatever reason, must have caught the attention of the zombos because that was prime real estate. There wasn't a time of day that went by that I did not see somebody in front of that lease sign. They could have sat anywhere on that block. They sat right in front of the lease sign. Put up shop in front of the lease sign.
Well, maybe it was like they realized like a lease sign means it's probably unoccupied so they can loiter.
Right. Exactly. So that's my surroundings outside of that building.
Do you know what I mean?
If I was to walk outside and go onto our smoking patio here, I look to the left and I see a Lamborghini dealership.
Wow.
That's like it's changed a bit.
That's kind of like Los Angeles, where it's like you'll see a $300,000 sports car right next to a homeless person. It's like the range of income, lifestyle is just like giant, you know?
Yeah. That's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. I just wanted to give you an example of it.
So if they're all doing that same weird zombo
I don't know what drug they're doing. I think
it's got to be the same. They've got to be doing the same thing if they're all acting the same way.
One night we were walking home and we had one of the zombos who seemed to be a little jacked up next to us. And so I was like, "Hey man, let me ask you a question."
You don't do that.
I'm like, yeah. Well, I did. So I said, "What is everybody on around here? Where can I get some?" That's what I said.
Where can I?
And
do you know a guy? Do you got a guy?
Then he's like, "These people, they're on fentanyl, and they do these fentanyl bombs where you just blow up their pipe." It's like, I don't do that. I don't do that stuff. I don't do. They kept saying, "I don't do that stuff," and like immediately I was like, "Well, obviously you do." And yeah, fentanyl.
Hey, buddy, can I maybe recommend? Like, I'm happy that you got that information, and maybe you felt safe to do that, but for sure, don't do that.
Yeah, well, I was with the guys. We were four of us.
Yeah, there's that.
I wasn't worried, but dude, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, this is the one thing. Like I've always said, though, you can't fight PCP. You know.
Well, but here's the thing: they're different. It's not like at home. Of all of the zombos I've seen, I saw one aggro zombo. The rest don't want anything to do with you. They just stay out of your way. You know the crazy thing is? The government, like, we saw a pop-up stand. The government, I don't know if they're giving it to them or not. They're either doing that or they're giving them needles. But right out in the open, dude, these people are shooting up right out in the open. They're smoking their pipes right out in the open. It's like insane.
I was driving to the studio the other day and I saw a guy smoking out of he had like a cup, like a plastic, like whatever, disposable cup. And he's like lighting it up. Like made his own homemade device.
It's really weird, man. I've never seen anything like it. But then I found out it was the part of town. I'm glad we came to this studio for the sake of that I got to see another part of town. Because the reality of it is I was starting to think Vancouver was just zombie land.
Yeah.
You know, because that's all I saw every fucking day. Crazy, dude. It's like unnerving. It's like, wow. They're everywhere.
Bad.
Everywhere.
It must just be a big city thing because I was driving the other day. I'm going to see Sonny, going to hang out with Sonny. I was telling you about a minute ago.
Did you tell him I said hi?
Talked about The Bachelor. Talked about The Bachelorette. Talked about Bachelor in Paradise.
You told him I said hi. Did you tell him I said hi?
F-Boy Island. Sure did. I think I did.
Did he tell you he wanted to be on the podcast? He wants to be on a podcast.
Yeah,
he wants to do it in person.
I know. This is the third podcast in a row that we're talking about having him on.
That means we got to do it.
We're going to do that. We're going to do it. Anyway, the point.
Back next week.
I was going to stop at 7-Eleven and grab like a drink and a snack or whatever. And like there were
We're at 7-Eleven. Where were you?
The one on Magnolia. You know the one on Magnolia going towards Magnolia and I don't know the cross street.
Oh, Magnolia.
Right by that park. Yeah.
Right by the Little Caesars. Oh, no, the one by the park. You're talking Tahunga. Right
Tahunga and Magnolia. Yeah. Oh, cool dude, story to people that don't know what we're talking about.
Can I just say real quick?
It's a disgusting 7-Eleven. It's a disgusting
We've talked about the 7-Eleven. We've talked about the 7-Eleven. I've talked about the 7-Eleven about how I go in there and they don't take any pride in having fresh food in their goddamn fucking shit.
Okay. They also have, I don't consider myself, is timid the right word or whatever? Like, I'm not going to like not stop because like there's a person standing by the door. I didn't stop because there was like 3 like hooded I don't want to deal with that situation. People standing right in front of the store.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah. And it made me think that like a year or two ago, I heard the story about a 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven, get your shit together. Clear out the zombos. There was a guy walking out of the 7-Eleven down by Barney's Beanery in Hollywood. And someone with a hatchet came at him as he was walking out the door. And his reaction, so he didn't get a hatchet to the face, was to put his hand up and block the face. Well, his hand caught the hatchet.
Fuck.
The guy was uninstigated, walking out of the store, minding his own business, gets hit with a hatchet. Like,
what happened to him? Like, how bad was his hand fucked up?
That would have been, I didn't intend on bringing this up, but that would have been good to, I'm sure he had to go to the hospital and get his hand put back together.
Real quick, let's go back to your rehearsal. Tell me about what's going on with you musically. We never
just writing a lot, dude. And I can't wait to unleash the info. I'm going to keep it close to my chest right now, but just writing a lot, rehearsing a lot, and hopeful. It's nice to be back into the world, man. I took the pandemic a little hard, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, we all did. And I'll tell you, you said the word hopeful. I think the best thing about just pursuing our dreams, whether they come true or they don't, it's nice to have hope. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people that I grew up with or know back at home in Philadelphia, they don't seem to have hope. They seem to be stuck in their ways of like, I have a family, I got my kids, I got my hubby or my wife.
We've talked about this before. Some people want that, and that's okay.
Some people want that.
That's
but
their
you know
that's their
where
goal.
It's bad is when it's not necessarily what they wanted. They found themselves in that situation, and they're doing the right thing by supporting their family, but they're just fucking miserable.
Yeah.
And I'm just so grateful that I've managed to like make my way through life without knocking any chicks up and having kids out there. I check 23andMe all the time just to make sure. And yeah, I'm very grateful that I'm able to have the hope.
Well, for me, still. It's less about that, and it's more about having something to like work towards, having a goal, and like before, if you're touring, it's like, well, I'm looking forward to doing that. Or if you have a show coming up, or if you're going into the studio, it's like, I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm not there yet, but I have to work towards something that I'm excited to do. And like during the pandemic, it was just like, well, I'm just sitting here and I don't have that goal or, whatever. I don't, maybe I'm not trying to.
Well, I think what had happened was you went back to Pittsburgh. And
which is fine. I love it there.
Which is great, but I feel like you might have gotten comfortable, and then the pandemic made it freaked out. Like, do I really want to go back to a ginormous city? Which I completely understand. Well, and
Ryan too. I'm going to refer to myself in third person. Ryan's a homebody, so whenever things began, and the instruction was stay in, I was a team player, and I was fine with it. Hey, you want to work from home? That'd be fantastic. Look how dark this room is. Holy shit. Yeah. I was all about it, dude. It was fine with me.
So and then, I was okay with it for
that
the first
seeps in,
couple of
that sinks into your mindset and your actions and your daily like activity, and then it gets really hard to get out of that, and that's what I fell into. And
I agree, and I think for me, I had a thing during the pandemic where I was really worried about the pandemic ending and being like, oh fuck, it's fucked up everything I've worked on in my entire life. Yeah. So I made sure that I was working not only the podcast, thank God we had this,
killing it,
but also the Mercury Riots. I took that time to get that band off the ground. So when the pandemic ended, boom, we out.
Boom. Boom. Pandemic ends. Boom. Two businesses.
On that note, I want to thank everybody. Yeah. I'm going to send Ryan a video. He's going to pop that in here of the new studio. But I want to thank everybody for joining us again on another episode of the Whatever Buddy podcast. It's been a fun episode, don't you think, Ryan?
I agree. And John, you just sprung that on me, but I love the idea. So stay tuned after we say goodbye. Episode 72. Thanks for coming and listening. Here's a tour. Here's a tour of which studio? The Warehouse.
No, this one's the Armory.
The Armory. Got it. Not going to keep it straight.
Yeah, keep it straight. Make sure you like, subscribe, and report like we always say. And we'll see you next week or in 2 weeks. We'll see you in 2 weeks. 2 fucking weeks. I'll be back in LA.
Heck
next
yeah.
time. Yeah, buddy.
With new lingo.
Rock.
See ya later.
All right, make a second effort at this. Let's start this again. Look at this. We're at the Armory. Okay, so I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna give you a little insight on everything. Okay. Loverboy Platinum album. Poison, Flesh and Blood. Bon Jovi, New Jersey. Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. Mariana's Trench, Ron Peterson, guest a couple of episodes ago. He's a huge fan, Canadian band. Nickelback. Presented to the Armory for multi-platinum sales. Busta Rhymes. Not sure who that is. Biff. Who's Biff? It's Canadian. Canadian band. We got Van Halen Balance. The Cranberries. Bon Jovi. This says, for keeping the faith and helping Bon Jovi reach worldwide career album sales of 45 million. That's a cool plaque. Get a Grip, Aerosmith, 10 million. 10 million, could you imagine? Every country. And they have like, say, Argentina's triple platinum. Switzerland is single platinum. America, 6 times platinum. And then Canada, 8 times platinum. This is my favorite, Razor's Edge, AC/DC. Yep. Mike Mike mixed this album. He has produced AC/DC, but he mixed that album. This is the control room, and the boys are in there just doing their thing and talking. Mike's working, and they look like they're in deep thought. Deep thought. Joey's over there just doing what Joey does. Yeah. And this is the drum room. Now, we've already done drums, so it's not a thing. But man, woo! Listen to this room. Looks like a church or a synagogue or something. It's so wild. Cabinets in here. We'll be doing solos today, I believe. Working on some backup vocals at the moment. And then there's the control room. We got the boys waving. The boys are waving. There's Mike. He'd probably kill me if he sees me videotaping him. We get out of here. We're gonna head upstairs now. Oops, cool. My pants are falling down because my belt sucks. How I see it. Now we're gonna go up the stairs. Boom. That's lounge area 1 where we were just at. Going to lounge area 2, which is by the smoking lounge. But on the way, we're gonna stop and take a look at this award for Thunderstruck, Australia. This is for gold records sold for Thunderstruck in Australia. All right, the AC/DC machine. This is Mike's machine, and it's signed by all the guys. And AC/DC, Angus Young did have a high score, but somebody beat it. This is our smoking patio. Whew, it's nice out here. It's nice and brisk. Some snow. Look at that. Joey marking his turf. And yeah, we're children. So that's the tour of the Armory. Hope you enjoyed it.